Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultan of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces confers excellent service and royal commendation medals on commissioned and non-commissioned officers and personnel at the Ministry of Defense, the Sultan's Armed Forces, and the Royal Guard of Oman. Muscat Air Traffic Control Center is inaugurated and additional services for air navigation in the Sultanate and the Middle East. And the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth discusses challenges faced by the agriculture, fisheries and livestock sectors in the Governorate of Muscat. Live from the news center of the Sultanate of Oman television, here we present to you the details of this news bulletin. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has received a cable of thanks from His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the United Arab Emirates, in reply to His Majesty's condolences cable on the death of Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid bin Hamdan bin Mohammed Al Nahyan. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of greetings to Emperor Akihito of Japan on the occasion of his birthday. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, conferred excellent service and royal commendation medals on commissioned and non-commissioned officers and personnel at the Ministry of Defense, the Sultan's Armed Forces and the Royal Guard of Oman in appreciation for their dedication in serving their country and carrying out their sacred national duty. The medals were conferred at Bayt al-Falaj camp by His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Saud bin Harb al-Busaidi, Minister responsible for Defense Affairs. His Excellency congratulated the officers and personnel of this royal honoring. He urged them to exert more efforts to develop this clear country under the wise leadership of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos. The medals presentation ceremony was attended by Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith al-Nabhani, Chief of the Staff of the Sultan's Armed Forces, Major General Matar bin Salim al-Balushi, Commander of the Royal Army of Oman, Air Vice Marshal Matar bin Ali al-Ubaidani, Commander of the Royal Air Force of Oman, Rear Admiral Abdullah bin Khamis al-Risi, Commander of the Royal Navy of Oman, Major General Salim bin Musallam Qatan, Commandant of the National Defense College, and Brigadier Mohammed bin Yusuf al-Hathi, Senior Staff Officer at the Royal Guard of Oman. The Board of Trustees of Sultan Qaboos Award for Culture, Arts and Literature held its first meeting today, chaired by His Excellency Sayyid Khalid bin Hilal al-Busaidi, Minister of Diwan of the Royal Court, Chairman of the Board of Trustees of the award at his office in Muscat. His Excellency the Chairman of the Board welcomed the members, calling to unified efforts to improve this award, in which it achieves its goals and royal vision of His Majesty the Sultan since its establishment. The meeting discussed the minutes of the previous rounds of the award and its fields. The members also reviewed the board's tasks and mechanisms of the work followed by it, preparing for the 6th round of the award 2017, which will be contested at the Arab level in 3 fields, namely economic studies in culture field, architecture, design in arts field, and literary criticisms in literature fields. With a cost of more than 25 million Omani Riyals, Muscat Air Traffic Control Center was inaugurated to be an additional service for air navigation in the Sultanate and the Middle East. The center is expected to enhance capacity of the Oman airspace as well as the level of aviation safety and security, and develop national capabilities or capacities to levels that meet requirements of the International Civil Aviation Organization. Launching Muscat Air Traffic Control Tower comes at a time the region is one of the most dynamic regions in the Middle East in terms of air traffic between Asia and the Middle East. The inauguration ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Yahya bin Mahfoud al-Mandari, Chairman of the State Council. Around 250,000 is the number of active insurance workers in the private sector inside the Sultanate. This was revealed by the latest statistics issued by the Public Authority for Social Insurance until November 2016. The total recorded cases reached around 53,000 in the same time period, with 24% from the total active insured workers. A workshop for pharmacists and assistant pharmacists was held this morning under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Talib Al Hinai and the Secretary of Planning Affairs, Minister of Health. More details in the following report.
Start with is the recital of
Under the theme, Principles of Best Pharmacist Practice, over 500 pharmacists and assistant pharmacists from private pharmacies and private healthcare institutions throughout the Sultanate attended the workshop which commenced this morning. This is the 12th round organized by the Directorate General of Pharmacy as part of the continuous professional development. The workshop aims to upgrade the level of performance of all working in this field. The evolving pharmacy in the future, addressing the role of responsibilities of medication safety. It will also identify latest treatment for diabetes patients and the new type of insulin injections, its method of use, including the pamphlets the pharmacist should have to provide to its clients. The international pamphlets for high blood pressure and the types of medicine given for this category of patients, as well as types and treatment for patients with asthma, and finally the best way of getting rid of expired medicine. Pharmacist Hassan bin Khalifa Al-Ghafri, Director of Pharmacists in the North Batina, said the objective of this event is to uplift the performance of those who are working in this field, and it is necessary for them to be exposed to continuous professional development. It's worth mentioning that the pharmacist can be instrumental in providing patient valuable resources to educate them about pharmacologic agents for treating and managing various conditions. Pharmacists can educate patients about the proper use of different items necessary to administer medication, especially to newly diagnosed patients or clients who may be overwhelmed with diagnosis and treatment plans. Still to come in our news bulletin. A seminar was held in Dar al-Kitab Public Library in the Wilaya of Salalah to mark the Arabic Language World Day. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The participants at the meeting of the International Tent Paging Federation General Assembly ITPF, which was hosted by the Sultanate, sent a cable thanks to His Majesty Sultan Qaboos. In their cable, they expressed utmost thanks and appreciation for the Sultanate's hosting of this meeting, valuing the great role being played by the Sultanate in supporting the ITPF, which has a positive impact on disseminating these sports locally, regionally, and internationally. The participants prayed to Allah the Almighty to grant His Majesty good health, happiness and long life, and Omani peace, stability, progress and prosperity under the wise leadership of His Majesty Sultan. The Ministry of Higher Education and Petroleum Development of Oman PDO signed a cooperation agreement in the field of internal scholarship. According to the agreement, the PDO will finance 141 scholarships for bachelor degree in engineering, commercial and administrative specialization and information technology at a cost of 3,060,000 Omani riyals. The agreement was signed from the ministry side by His Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Mohammed Al Sarmi, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Higher Education, and from the PDO side by Abdul Amir bin Abdul Hussein Al Ajmi, Director of External Affairs and Value Creation. In order to sustain cultural, scientific and intellectual communications between top management in Diwan and environmental specialists in Ras Shajar Reserve in the Wilaya of Quriyat, Institute of Capability Development, in cooperation with the Office of the Preservation of Environment, organized a workshop on the natural livestock, botanical and ecological resources in the reserve, in addition to human activities. Their Excellencies at the Diwan of the Royal Court paid a visit to the reserve and taken into consideration of the recommendations put forward by the environmental specialist for long-term solutions in order to confront the challenges faced by the reserve. Public Authority for Manpower Register and National Records Archives Authority signed an accreditation agreement for procedural tools for archives classification system. The agreement includes preparing a table for classification system for archives after its preparation for the list of names of private documents in the Public Authority of Manpower Register. The agreement was signed by Dr. Yunus bin Khalfan Al-Akhzami, Chief Executive Officer of Public Authority for Manpower Register, and His Excellency Dr. Hamad bin Mohammed Al-Dhawyani, Chairman of the National Records and Archives Authority. More than 12 million is the total departure, arrival and transit passengers at Muscat and Salalah airports until the end of November 2016. This was revealed by the National Statistics and Information Center, with 89,345 international flights from both airports until last November. His Excellency Dr. Fuad bin Jafar Al-Sajwani, Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth, met with businessmen in the Governorate of Musandam at Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry, OCCI branch today, in the presence of His Excellency Sayyid Khalifa bin Al-Mirdas Al-Busaidi, Governor of Musandam. During the meeting, they reviewed the current and future projects of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth in the Governorate. It also discussed opportunities of developing and improving agricultural and fisheries sector, besides discussing investment projects at the fishing harbour in the Wilayah of Qasab. The meeting also touched upon the proposals and challenges facing by the fisheries, agriculture and livestock investment sector, and the role of the ministry regulating investment mechanism among fishermen, farmers and investors. Celebration of Arabic Language World Day seminar was held in Dar al-Kitab Public Library in the Wilayah of Salalah. The seminar, which entitled Arabic Language, the Position and Challenges, discussed 3 work papers presented by a number of elites in Arabic language. The seminar was presided over by His Excellency Sheikh Khalid bin Omar Al-Marhoon, Minister of Civil Service. Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over the most of the governorates, with chances of low clouds and fog early morning and late at night along the South Sharqiyya and Al-Wusta. Winds will be northerly to northwesterly light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces confers Excellent Service and Royal Commendation Medals on commissioned and non-commissioned officers and personnel at the Ministry of Defense, the Sultan's Armed Forces and the Royal Guard of Oman. Muscat Air Traffic Control Center is inaugurated as an additional service for air navigation in the Sultanate and the Middle East. And the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth discusses challenges faced by the agriculture, fisheries, livestock sectors in the governorate of Musandam. And with that, we come to an end of tonight's news bulletin live from the News Center. We thank you for joining us, wish you a pleasant evening and good night.